I'm going to give you 7 tips to help you get more bookings on Gogokid in 2021. And it doesn't matter if you've been with Gogokid for a long time or you just signed your first contract today. This video is going to help you out. And we're getting started right now. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Alex Ty with theEnglishNinja.net, and for those of you who didn't know, I started teaching English online with Gogokid back in the fall of 2020 as a way to diversify my income. This channel is dedicated to sharing a little bit of my own personal experience teaching English online with Gogokid, as well as providing some helpful tips for my fellow online English teachers. Today we're going to be talking about different things you can do to start getting more students on Gogokid. But before we dive right into this video, make sure you click on that red subscribe button down below so you don't miss a thing. Tip number 1, make sure you invest time in having a great teacher profile. You have to think of Gogokid as being like an Amazon marketplace for teachers. Parents are logging into the Gogokid platform and they have hundreds, if not thousands, of different teachers to choose from. And the very first thing that they're going to look at is your profile picture. Now, you don't need a professional camera or even the latest iPhone to get a great picture, but you do need a few simple things such as natural light, a clean background, and a nice close-up of your face with a natural smile. If you don't have a professional headshot that you can use for your Gogokid profile, ask a friend to help you. Spend an hour taking photos, trying out different outfits and angles to see what works best for you. Then don't forget to use an app like Snapseed to edit the photo to get rid of some of those imperfections and make it nice and bright for the parents to see. If you're unsure which picture is best, upload a couple to photofeeler.com and allow random strangers to vote on what they think. Once inside your actual profile, the next thing parents are going to see are your profile video and your written summary. So again, a few things to keep in mind with this, especially with the video. Make sure you take your video in a place with good natural light and get a close-up of your face. The parents want to meet you and get to know your personality through your video. Be sure to speak slowly, and if you can, try to include something that makes you unique from everybody else. When you go to write your teacher bio, make sure you're using nice, short, simple English sentences. Yes, many of these parents are bilingual, but many of them aren't, which means that they're using a machine to translate your bio. If it's hard to understand in English, imagine on the other end of a translation machine. It doesn't need to be this crazy long novel, just the important information that parents want to know and what you're going to do to help their children. Tip number 2, teacher certifications within the Gogokid platform. Let's go ahead and take a look at my account and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so here we are inside of the Gogokid teacher platform and we're on my account page. Now the certifications I'm talking about are listed here under my certification, where you'll see that I have 7 different badges lit up in colors. You can earn these badges by completing training modules, which just consist of watching simple YouTube videos and answering questions until you get them right. I think at most, one of the training modules took me maybe 20 minutes to complete and fastest 2 or 3 minutes, so they're really not difficult. The one thing I want to mention here is that if you do not complete the training modules, you will not teach that type of class. For example, Gogokid introduced in December a Go-Go Sing supplementary course, which I did not want to certify for because I don't like singing songs, so that badge does not appear on my profile, and therefore I won't teach that class ever. So one mistake I see new teachers making is that they log in to their app after signing their first contract, they open up a ton of classes, and then they just hear crickets. And this is because they're not certified to teach any classes. So as soon as you sign your contract and you've made a nice profile, go and do all of the certifications that you possibly can. That is the best way to expand your possibilities to get more students. And that takes us to tip number 3. Set a consistent teaching schedule. One thing that I really like about working for Gogokid is the fact that they do not require you to teach a minimum number of classes each week, nor do they require you to teach on certain days or at certain times. This is a huge advantage, but it doesn't mean that you should wake up on a Tuesday morning and say, hey, I want to teach classes in 3 hours, I'll open up some time slots and see what happens. It doesn't quite work like that. Every Monday morning around breakfast time in Beijing, parents have the opportunity to log into the Gogokid platform and begin choosing teachers for classes for the following week. This is what's called the booking frenzy. The majority of the classes are booked during this frenzy, which means it's really important that by Sunday evening, Beijing time, you've selected the time slots that you would like to potentially teach a class during the following week. Now, it's perfectly fine if you only want to teach 1 day a week with Gogokid, or maybe even just 2 or 3 classes per week. But make sure every single week when you go to open up these time slots, you're opening up the same time slots. Parents love consistency. Just imagine that they're juggling around English classes, math classes, sports activities, music lessons, and it's one more thing that they have to do in their lives. And if you can be that consistent teacher that they're looking for every single week, then it's more likely that they will choose you to be their child's regular preferred teacher. Tip number 4, open short notice classes. When you go to open your classes, Gogokid gives you 2 options. The first option, you could just open the time slot and parents can book you up to 24 hours before the start of the class. But if you open the class to be short notice, parents can choose you to be their child's teacher up to 1 hour before the start time of that class. This is really great because many parents are going to be in a situation where they want their child to have a class last minute and they need to find a teacher. They just want to find any teacher that's available. Or maybe their preferred teacher has canceled on them within 24 hours and they still want to have a class. And the third possibility is that the student is a trial student. For me, the majority of the classes that I get booked within 24 hours are trial students. So this is a really good way to start building up your student base and make more money. And of course, tip number 5, teach quality classes. None of the tips I'm giving you today are going to help if your classes just plain suck. Now, I'm not trying to say that you need to be the world's most experienced teacher to teach a quality class, but there are a few things that you can keep in mind to give a good impression on the parents and help your students learn and have a good experience along the way. The first big one is to make sure that your classroom has a clean background, good lighting, and quality sound. The quality lighting is a big one because if the students see you in the dark, then they might feel afraid and it just looks unprofessional. Make sure you have good lighting that lights up your face and avoids shadows. And of course, quality sound. Go out and buy a nice headset with a boom mic so that you get a nice rich voice and avoid having lots of ambient noise in the background. Then, it's really important to prepare the lessons and the slides within the lessons before you actually go to teach that class. When I first started teaching with Gogokid, I was literally practicing every single slide and planning out all kinds of different possible scenarios that would develop in the classroom before I went and taught the classes. Now that I've been doing this for a few months, I kind of have a rhythm of how each different level will work, and I spend maybe 5 minutes at most preparing the lesson before I actually go and teach. I look through the lesson, and then I've planned my objects that I want to use as props, and also the secondary reward, whether it be a game for an older student, or maybe my ice cream reward, or something else fun for the student when they do a good job. And lastly, and most importantly, smile, smile, and smile. Even if something is going wrong in your class, just smile. If your camera freezes, smile. Have a laugh about it. If something falls on the floor, laugh about it. Try to be silly. Make sure the student doesn't catch on that you're feeling frustrated, that you've made a mistake. Just keep smiling and move along with the lesson. The happier you are, the happier your student is going to be as well. And when your student finishes a class with a smile on their face and maybe even laughing, the parent knows they had a good time and is more likely to give you a positive review and come back to you in the future. Your ultimate goal is to have students enjoy your class so much that they choose you to be their preferred teacher every single time they take a class with Gogokid. But if that doesn't happen right away, that's fine. You're going to start to see that many students have 3 or 4 different preferred teachers that they cycle through. And as long as you're one of those preferred teachers, that's a sign that you've done a good job and the parents are happy with you. Could be the fact that over time you do become their preferred teacher and you'll have a group of students that are consistent with you every single week and another group of students that use you along with several other teachers to help them with their English language journey. Over time, this is going to build up and you're going to have a very consistent full schedule and start making a nice monthly income. Number 6, leave quality personalized student feedback. This is probably one of my least favorite parts of working for Gogokid, as they require you to leave a short paragraph description and to fill out an evaluation form after you've taught every single class. In my case, this is a bit time consuming because I choose to do each one by hand. I don't copy and paste from a template that I have saved on my computer. I write each one by hand for every single student that I teach. When I go to teach a class, I can actually read evaluations done by the student's previous 3 teachers. Oftentimes what I'm seeing in these evaluations is that teachers are using a copy and pasted template and they're forgetting to change student names between one student and another. And this is just terrible, terrible work done on their part. And I know it's a mistake we can all make, but it tells the parents that you're not paying attention and you're not professional, that you've not done something personal for their child, and that says, maybe this teacher doesn't care about my child and I should choose somebody else that cares more. Something else that I also see is that the teachers are writing feedback that's centered more about getting a 5-star review than what the child has done in the class itself. I personally do not ask the parents to leave me a 5-star review. It is my opinion that the parents will do that on their own if they feel that I've done a good job. If they leave me a nice comment, then yes, I will thank them if I write my evaluation after, but I never ask them for the 5-star review that like many other teachers do. Tip number 7, participate in Gogokid special events. For example, with the Chinese New Year coming up in February, Gogokid has organized this really cool way for teachers to record a video of themselves saying some typical greetings in Chinese and send that video to their chosen students. Yes, this requires a bit of extra effort on our part, but it goes a really long way in showing the parents that you care about their children. And when you put in that extra effort, the parents are going to see that right away and are going to be more likely to come back to you as a teacher in the future. So I hope you found this video to be super helpful. If you haven't done so already, make sure you click that thumbs up and leave me a question in the comments down below. I'm also going to put my email address along with my Gogokid teaching information in the description of this video in case you're interested in signing up with Gogokid either for the first time or you're looking to add Gogokid as a second or even third online English teaching platform. And until next time, happy teaching!